Hi Michael, it's Cam. I just wanted to let you know I finished your lift. It works beautifully on your staircase here. Runs all the way to the top. You'll notice right now when you get here it's going to be covered just like this. Let me show you one thing up at the top. What I did was I ran your electrical underneath the clapboard here, and it's plugged in right there. The only thing you're going to want to do though is get one of those outlets that has a bubble over a top. You can just take off this facade right here and just replace this with a bubble, and that way the plug will be in and you can keep it waterproof. As it stands right now, that's the best it'll do. So I just wanted to show you that. And your wiring comes right down out there, and I've got it running right underneath the stairs here, right over to your rail, okay? So when you get here, Mike, this is how you're going to find your lift, just like this, alright? So there's a Velcro closure right here, so just open that up, slide the cover right off, and here's your controls. Okay, you've got two remotes, and this is the book that tells you all about how everything runs. Alright? Everything, what you have to remember is in this business, everything takes 2 seconds to get the message. So whether I push a button or move a switch on the end of the arm, it's going to be 1, 2, and then it goes. And you hold the button or the switch the entire time. Okay? So if I want to go up, I just hit the up button. 1, 2, oops. Got to turn it on. And I'm going to let it boot up here. So if I want to send it up, I just hit the up button. 2 seconds later, it heads up. I can stop at any time. If I want to bring it back down, I just hit the down button. And remember, you got that 2-second wait. And down it comes. Now down here you'll notice it's silent because it's charging down here. It does the same thing at the very top of the stairs. If you stop anywhere in between there, it's going to beep constantly to tell you that it's not on a charge point and it needs to go all the way up or all the way down in order to charge. Now at the end of the arm there's this little button underneath the lower arm. There's nothing underneath the upper arm, just the lower one. That always needs to be covered if you want to move the lift with this switch here, or this switch. It's just that that's a kill switch and it needs to be covered in order to move the machine. So once it's covered, I can hold the button, 2 seconds later it moves. And I hold that switch the entire time. If I want to bring it back down, I have to wait 2 seconds for it to clear, hold it, count 2, and down it comes. So those are your remotes. This is your book. It looks daunting, but the only page that really makes any difference to you is page 21. This is the digital display codes, and they're all shown on the front of the machine here. A blinking LED gives you a letter and a number. Right now it's blinking C1, and if you looked in your book, C1 is normal, battery is charging. In a little while, since this is brand new, it's going to go to C4, which says normal, batteries are fully charged. You can use it any time in that time, it doesn't make any difference. It's just telling you what's going on. The only thing you really need to worry about in this, or use this book for, are the error codes. Anytime an E shows up in that readout up front, the machine is not going to run. Or actually, it's going to be the other way around. You'll go to use it one day, it won't work. You'll look at the readout and it's going to give you an E and a number. And these are all the reasons why it's not going to run. The one that I get the call most often is that people rotate the seat to get off, but they don't put it all the way back. And unless you hear that snap into place, it's going to register E5 on the readout up front. If you looked in your book, E5 says normal, but the seat is not in place. The minute I put the seat where it's supposed to go, I'm right back to 1C again. Alright? So these are all the reasons your machine won't run. These are fault codes. These you would need to call me, but probably will never happen. There's also a key switch up front. Right now the key is in a horizontal position, which is what it needs to be in order for it to go up and down. When I leave the machine today, I'm going to leave it vertical, which says stop. Alright, that way if somebody were to come by and try and use your machine, it's not going to run. It'll still charge, but it's going to give me an error code of E9 up front. And if I looked in my book at E9, normal, but the key switch is off. So when you come, just turn on the key switch, and you'll leave it on from then after. Unless you have kids come and you don't want them to play with the machine, you can just turn the key so that it's vertical and take it out. Now the machine will still charge, but none of these are going to work until you put the key back in and turn it 90 degrees so it's horizontal. Alright? So that's everything you need to know about that. Now I'm going to show you the machine running here. So remember, I need to cover that switch. I'd be sitting down on it now anyway. And I just push that button, and off she goes. Of course, you have to put down the footrest so you can put your feet on it. And remember, I'm holding the switch the entire time. If I were to take my hand off the switch, it's going to stop, but it's going to beep to tell me that it's not on its charge point. Alright, so I just hit the switch again. 2 seconds later, I'm off and running. Now when it gets to the top, it's going to stop automatically, so you don't even need to gauge it. Just let it run till it gets up to the very top here. Now it's stopped. And if you were to push down on this flap that's on the side right by your hip, the seat rotates around. It locks at 45, locks again at 90, okay? So you'll want to take it all the way around in order to get off. Alright, so that would be it right there. I gave you about a 1/2 inch clearance against your post up here. I also raised the lift off the deck about 2 inches. That does a couple of things. That allows for whoever's using the lift, it makes it a little easier for them to get off. Also, when you go to move this gate back, it's going to give you a little more clearance. Just make sure you check the clearance with the rail before you go ahead and set those posts on either side and reset your gate. Alright? As it stands right now, this is about as close as I can close the gate. So I'm going to call the machine back down with the remote. Remember, the bottom button brings it down. I just hold the button and down it comes. Of course, if I take my finger off it, it's going to stop. So you got to hold it all the way down to the bottom. I think the sunlight also helps to break the beam. This is an infrared beam, so it kind of, with this dappled sunlight, it can kind of break it sometimes. Alright, so that's everything about your lift. If you have any questions, give me a call. I'll go ahead and run your credit card for the rest of the amount due on it. And like I say, enjoy. I think it's going to be a great machine. Do keep it covered as often as you can, because what I find is not only does the moisture, it helps to keep off the moisture, but also the UVs from the sunlight tend to discolor the plastic. So the more it's covered when you're not using it, the better off you'll be. Alright? Good luck, Mike, and thanks again for your business. Bye-bye.